Hello and welcome back to another episode of Uncut Civilization 6. We are picking up a couple of turns ahead of where we left off, and as you can see, Teddy Roosevelt is not very happy. That is his war face. He has declared a surprise war against us, and we're going to have to deal with it. But I have a lot of faith in our abilities. We don't have a very strong military presence, but the way things are positioned, we're pretty well hunkered down, so we're going to be able to defend ourselves decently well. Alright, so let's go ahead and click continue on that. We just built our third archer, so now we got a boost towards machinery, I believe that was? Yeah, machinery got a boost, so we could try and rush towards crossbowmen, which would give us a significant advantage, but I haven't really thought of exactly what my military strategy was going to be. It was initially going to be just get some horsemen and then ride all up in Teddy Roosevelt's face, but things are going to have to be a little bit different because the difference in power at the moment is pretty significant. Let's take a look at the world rankings. Teddy Roosevelt has a military strength of almost 800. Anybody want to take a guess what my military strength is? 110. It's a pretty modest amount, but could be worse, right? It could be 0. But we do have a decent number of archers, and last time we picked up a religion, and we have the Defender of the Faith belief, which is giving our units plus 10 combat strength when we're within borders of friendly cities that follow our belief. So as long as we're playing a defensive game, we'll have a pretty significant advantage over Teddy Roosevelt and his units. So that's what we're going to try and do as much as possible. We're going to try and play a very strong defensive game, only attacking when units are close by until we find some way to get an advantage. But what we're gonna do though, oh, you know what? Before I talk about what we're gonna do next, we are currently an oligarchy, and it has some changes that have been made to it from the Civ Improvements mod. Plus 30% science and food, and plus 4 housing in your capital, but minus 10% to those yields in your other cities. And the standard bonus of 20% experience for combat units and for combat strength for units as well. So this is an interesting change that makes oligarchy have more pros and cons to it versus the other policies. It's if you want to be that aggressive civilization, some of your other cities are going to have to make sacrifices, and that's another thing that just makes this mod really cool. So that's the Civ Improvements Patch, I believe it's called. It's cool, but it's in the description, whatever it's called. And our policies, though, for now, maritime industry is still giving us that production on our fishing boats, urban planning giving us production in the capital and our surrounding cities. Charismatic leader, plus 2 influence points per turn towards earning city-state envoys, and conscription unit maintenance is reduced by 1 per turn, and plus 1 amenity in cities with a garrisoned unit. And we're definitely going to have to keep that one on because we don't have access to a lot of amenities in our city. We've got a little bit of marble there. We do have some cotton, but that's it. Oh, we also have some dyes, which we're going to get eventually, but it's going to be a little while. That's right. The next thing I was going to do is start production on a settler. Our next city is going to be on top of this little patch of rice over here. New city. Boom. And that is going to give us, at the very least, access to these amenities. And then if my calculations are correct, this city will be able to expand onto this iron and, you know, we'll get a lot of fishing boats and stuff from here. So it'll be a decent city. And now we just got to set up the production for the rest of the places. We have a trade route coming from the city Windy Valley. And we're going to send that over to Riceland so we can have units moving quicker along this line. And then for our final thing for this turn, we got a lot of stuff to do, man. We got a pretty developed civilization. And for my final trick, I don't necessarily want to build another archer because I already have 4 and they can't really do anything from their current position. So I'm just going to finish up my holy site prayers. It's going to give me some faith, and you know, why not? Eventually I'll start spending that on things, so could prove to be beneficial.
No hour of life is wasted that is spent in the saddle.
Winston Churchill knows what he's talking about. I've never ridden a horse. I can't confirm that. But we finally unlocked the ability to build our unique horseman unit, and I will read what it does right now. It is called the Okay, let's try the Heteroi. I think it's called the Heteroi. It is the Macedonian unique heavy cavalry unit that replaces the horseman, additional +5 combat strength when adjacent to a great general, +5 great general points when killing an enemy unit, starts with 1 free promotion. So that is a very densely packed unit. It's got a lot of different benefits to it. That's gonna be pretty damn powerful. Now I could switch over to the maneuver policy when I finally get it, which will make them produce a little bit faster. But they already produce in 3 turns, and having an extra amenity from a garrisoned unit is very valuable, and I'm actually not taking advantage of that in Riceland, so I'm going to go ahead and do that just to give it an extra amenity. So, and we also have some promotions to give out. But on a different topic, the Take Your Time mod, we're going to start seeing the interesting dynamic that mod creates as this episode plays out, because we're currently at war, and what that means is we're going to be doing a lot of fighting. But normally when you're at war in an online speed game, it's basically a race to see who can get more production or more tech research faster, so they can out-tech their opponent. That's basically the way you win in Civilization. That's how you win wars. You don't win wars by building units that counter other units and being crafty and stuff like that. No, you win wars simply by out-teching your opponent and building more advanced units than them and killing them with that. You know, it's like, well, they still got clubs, you got swords and tanks and all that fun stuff. Units, I just skip, you can't do anything. I gotta cut down these trees so I get a little bit extra vision. Looks like he's got archers across the way, and that is a big problem. They're gonna start pew-pewing me, and he just got some promotions on his units, so I don't like the way this is going. And from the looks of things, we're gonna get a second declaration of war from Germany. Fun times. I think I'm gonna have to switch over to walls, because I do not have any walls.
I don't underrate the value of military knowledge, but if men make war in slavish obedience to rules, they will fail.
Yeah, there's not much to it except for just out-tech your opponent and you'll win, which is fine, and that means if you have a good strategy in the science department and in you know, just general base building kind of stuff, then you're gonna come out on top in the military side of things as well, and that's pretty good. But I don't think it should be like that. I don't think. Okay, I got a little tripped up on my words when I was recording this. What I was trying to say was your military victory should be tied to your mastery of unit placement and military composition, not just your mastery of science. Now let's get back into it. And what I mean by that is, if you're good at managing a diverse military and constructing the right type of units that counter a certain type of composition, like for example the horse archers from Scythia. If you know you're going up against Scythia, she's going to be aggressive with those things. Rush for spearmen and take her out. You know, things like that can give you an advantage. But that doesn't really matter if technology doesn't research, or if technology research is too fast. Scythia is going to build a bunch of horse archers and you're going to have like a fucking tank by the time she tries to attack you. But as soon as we finish mysticism, though, we will be able to take Jerusalem as our suzerain. We'll be able to, as soon as we finish mysticism, we will become the suzerain of Jerusalem, and they will provide us with some protection. That's what I was trying to say. And it looks like our builder is not dead, so I'm happy about that. So we're going to use him to clear out this forest, and this is going to instantly produce a unit for us. And your progress towards mercenaries has advanced considerably, no doubt because we now have 8 units in our force, and we're going to use one of those 8 units, our new horseman unit, to go ahead and attack this archer. Is he going to finish him off? No, but he is going to do some nice damage, leave him basically dead. And we do still have his promotion available, so once he takes a little bit of damage from these archers, then he will be able to promote himself. And this archer can now see over the trees. It's all coming together. Okay. Really? Really? Can you not? All right, well, I don't know why that archer is giving me problems, but I'm not even gonna question it. I'm not gonna question it. It is what it is. Whatever. Look, the point is, so far we're doing all right. We're playing to our strengths. We're using our religious benefits to a great effect. As long as our units are in our territory, they're gonna get +10 combat strength. This is going all right. We're defending ourselves, and we may not even need to switch up our research plan. Just to take a look at it, I'm planning on going for celestial navigation so I can get a harbor up and running, because my cities are coastal. All of my cities, except for Windy Valley, are going to be coastal cities. If I get a harbor there, that's going to be nice. If I get a harbor here or here, that's also going to be nice. It's just going to provide some nice benefits, and it's going to help us fund our soon-to-be very large military. So here we go. More arrows are going to come out. But yeah, I mean, because the combat in Civilization 6, and I think all the Civs, I haven't played all of them, but you know, I saw this coming. It's simple, but when you get to make slightly more meaningful decisions between each era, then it becomes a lot more interesting, and it feels a lot better.
I like to say I practice militant mysticism. I'm absolutely sure of some things that I don't quite know.
Look at that. All right, let's go ahead and build a fishing boat. But yeah, so it feels more interesting, because normally in a standard speed game, you can go from the ancient era to the medieval era in about 110 turns, 120 turns. Or maybe 100 turns. Yeah, it takes about 100 turns to get there. Let's just say on a standard speed game, it takes about 100 turns to get to the medieval era from the start of the game. Which is that's pretty fast. That's pretty quick. But when you slow it down with this mod, what happens is I'm producing units at the online speed, but the tech is advancing at the standard speed. So it's gonna take me 110, 120-ish turns to get to the medieval era, but I'm gonna have as many cities and as developed cities as if this were an online speed game. And although that sounds crazy, it's more interesting than it is wild and crazy. It's just an interesting thing. And I want to make a builder, but I'm gonna go for another another horseman. I'm not gonna bother with that. I can't read, guys. I can't read. This is what happens when you go to public school. They don't teach you Macedonian. I think, what do they speak, Greek? Somebody told me, Artie Party told me in the comments, and I don't remember what they speak anymore. I think it's Greek. Or is Greek even a language? I don't know. The American public school system failed me. That's what I'm trying to say. All right? I can't read, guys. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Ooh, suzerain. So yeah, so just it makes every decision is a little bit different and a little bit more meaningful than it was before, simply because your units become obsolete a lot slower. And it looks like Windy Valley finished production on a holy site, and we may as well go for a shrine there next. I could see this is where things start to get tricky. I could focus 2 cities on military production and then have my main city of Riceland go for just continue trying to advance the cause, and making builders and etc. Or I could only have my forwardmost city of Fish City as the main military production city. I'm not entirely sure how I want to do this. Not entirely sure. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and make a builder from Windy Valley. All right, We'll see why in a minute. We'll see why soon enough. And then Riceland and Fish City are going to churn out a truckload. I was going to say a fuck ton, but I thought, I don't need to use that word. So I'm going to churn out military from Fish City and Riceland. And then Windy Valley and my newly settled city will just continue to grow and do non-military focused stuff. All right? All right. Okay, so we just finished our settler from Riceland, and we're going to set it on a course for our new city. But there's a lot of decisions we can make right now, actually, and they're going to be very crucial to our success or our failure. If we make the wrong decision, we're going to fail. If we make the right decision, we're going to succeed. I can build a harbor, and as you can see, we get a lot of benefits from having a harbor, plus 7 gold per turn. And what else does a harbor do? I think the lighthouse improvement from the harbor makes our fish tiles a little bit better. I think I'm remembering that right. But yeah, I think we should go for the harbor. Yeah, so we've got a lot of options, though. And what I'm thinking now is going for the harbor, maybe churning out a couple of galleys so we can boost up shipbuilding, and then researching shipbuilding. Because the problem that we're running into is that I can guarantee that all of this American land is flooded with warriors and archers. So unless I have some sort of unit that can sort of poke at least one of these cities, like Charleston from the sea, I'm going to have a lot of trouble dealing with it. But even then, I'm not going to have that much reach with them. I'm only going to be able to get that one city with it. I don't know. There's a lot of, the point is there's a lot of choice, and I think I'm going to go with the harbor, though, because that extra gold income will be nice. It'll allow us to actually purchase some more military units as we continue to build them. Yeah, I think that'll be the right decision. All right. Yeah, so far so good. I think what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and when we come back, we're going to continue preparing to take over America. Because damn it, Teddy Roosevelt not gonna declare war on me and walk out of it unscathed. All right, we're gonna whoop that ass. So, as always, the name of the game is Civilization 6. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR Game for Comedy. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.